Okay, so next topic is ethics, ethical and professional standards. So before we start with the subject, let me give you an overview of how this subject is structured. So first reading, it starts with defining ethics, that what is ethics in general, or what are ethics in professionalism, or what do they actually mean. That is the first reading, that is ethics in general terms. Then second reading talks about code of ethics of CFA Institute, that with that as per CFA Institute, what is the code of ethics. So this code of ethics is basically you can say a summary of the required behavior. That is the summary of the behavior which is required, or summary of the actions which are required. They are kind of summarized in this code of ethics. Then third reading is standards of professional conduct of CFA Institute. This reading discusses the all the professional conduct standards in detail. That is, what actions are required in which scenario, what should be done in which scenario, what should not be done, what is ethical, what is unethical as per CFA Institute. So you can say these are the details or explanations to code of ethics. So code of ethics is a summarized version, a few points, and then there are 7 standards of professional conduct, and within each of these standards there are sub standards, and so there are details as to what action should be taken, what action should not be taken. And in whole ethics, I think this reading is the most important one, and this is the biggest reading, or this with respect to content, and this is the most detailed reading, or other readings are just very small or very basic, which we can go through quickly, but this is the major or main reading. Then the next reading after readings post 3 include gives and other reading, but I think the most important one is reading number 3. So let's start with the first one, which is ethics and trust in the investment profession. So first of all, what is ethics? So ethics are a set of moral principles and rules of conduct. So in any profession, there are certain things which are assumed to be right, and there are certain types of behavior which are assumed to be wrong. So the ethics basically are the set of principles which define what is right, what is moral, and what is not, what should be done and what should not be done. Now the question is, it is the set of moral principle. Then what is moral principle? What is moral principle or ethical principle? Ethical or moral principle are those beliefs or those behavior which are expected to be good, or which are assumed to be good and acceptable. Anything which is assumed to be bad or unacceptable, any such behavior is known as unethical or immoral. So that means if we are studying ethics, what are we studying? We are studying the good and bad behavior or the moral principles. Now moving on, what is the code of ethics in CFA Institute as per CFA Institute? So CFA Institute's code of ethics is beliefs about obligatory and forbidding conduct in a written set of principles. If you write down the set of principles, that is code of ethics. What is allowed, what is forbidden. Then standards of conduct. What are standards of conduct? They clarify the code of ethics, that what needs to be done, what needs to be avoided. And standards of conduct can be principle based or rule based. Principle based is when it is based on some principle and some judgment is included. Rule based is when judgment is not included. Remember, CFA Institute code and standards are principle based. Principle based standards apply to a broader audience. So this is what ethics is. Ethics is set of moral principles. What are moral principles? They are beliefs regarding what is acceptable and good behavior. The study of these moral principles is known as ethics. So ethics is the study of moral principles, that what is good and what is bad. Code of ethics are the beliefs about obligatory and forbidden set of principles. The standards of conduct clarify the code of ethics. They are explanations to code of ethics. They can either be principle based or rule based. CFA Institute has a principle based code of ethics, principle based standards of conduct. Moving on, ethics and professionalism. So characteristics that distinguish what is a profession. So how is profession different from occupation, any ordinary occupation? So remember, the characteristic that differentiate a profession from occupation, or that makes an occupation a profession, are specialized knowledge and skills. based on service to others, and a profession is practiced by members who share and agree to and adhere to common code of ethics. So one of the key characteristics of any professionalism is that it includes those individuals or those members who share the same code of or common code of ethics. So within a profession, members will generally share a common code of ethics. That is, they will have shared understanding of what is right and what is wrong, what is acceptable, what is unacceptable. Any problem? So ethics are very important for any profession. Let it be investment profession or any other profession. Some questions. Which of the following statements is most accurate? Ethics can be described as a commitment. Ethics is not a commitment to uphold law. An individual's personal opinion. It is not a personal opinion. It is a set of moral principles. Which of the following statement is most accurate? Standards of conduct are necessary component of any code of ethics. They are not component of code of ethics. They are extensions of code of ethics. They clarify code of ethics. They are not included in code of ethics. Serve as a general guide. They are not general guide. Code of ethics are general guide. They are not general. Serve as benchmarks for minimally acceptable behavior required for the member or group. Which of the following statements best describes how professionals use their specialized knowledge and skills? Professionals use their knowledge and skills in service to others. This is correct. So we discussed that there are, in a profession, it is based on specialized knowledge and skills. It is based on service to others, and it is based on common code of ethics. So this is a characteristic of profession. Which of the following statements is most accurate? A profession code of ethics. A profession's code of ethics include standard of conduct or specific benchmarks for behavior, ensures that all members of, so code of ethics will not include standard of conduct, they are extensions. Code of ethics tells you what is right and what is wrong, what is obligatory, what is forbidden. Ensures that all members act ethically? No, it can tell you what is right and wrong, it cannot ensure that you will act ethically. It will be your own action. Publicly communicates the shared principles, correct, expected behaviors of a profession's members, correct. So it will communicate what is right and what is wrong, what is obligatory and what is forbidden. It cannot ensure if you follow it or not. So C is the answer. Challenges to ethical conduct. So what are the challenges to someone acting ethically, or what are the challenges to having someone act ethically? It can be overconfidence. That is, sometimes people or professionals overestimate the morality of their behavior. They think they are very moral while they end up doing some unethical actions. Decision makers often underestimate situational influences. So maybe people are influenced by situation, by scenario, or by other people around them. So maybe if everyone else is doing something, you assume that this is the right thing to do. Common situational influences in investment industry include money, prestige, and loyalty. Situational influences shift our brain's focus from long-term to short-term factors and self-interest, and this can cause us to act unethically. So these are some challenges to ethical conduct. Importance of ethical conduct in investment industry. Why is it important? Because in investment industry, one of the most important thing is trust. And trust comes in when you know that other person will act ethically. So in order to have that trust, you need ethical conduct. That's why it is very important in investment industry. Ethical versus legal standards. So remember, legal and ethical are two separate things. Legal means the law. Ethical means that what the set of moral principles for that particular profession. Legal factors may cover a particular part. Ethical may cover a particular part, and there can be some commonalities. It is not necessary that everything is what is legal is also ethical. It is not necessary that everything which is ethical is also legal. question, which of the following will most likely determine whether an individual will behave unethically? The person's character most likely determine that individual will behave unethically. So character can be one thing, but you cannot actually uh, analyze the character if you wouldn't know the actual character. The person's internal traits and intrinsic motivation, external factors such as environmental, cultural elements which are situational influences. So they can be a key factor. Which of the following statements is most accurate? Large financial rewards such as bonuses are the most powerful situational influences. Large financial rewards can be or cannot be. When decision making focuses on short term factors, the likelihood of ethical conduct increases. This is wrong. Why? Because if decision making factors on short term factor, then the likelihood of unethical behavior will increase. Situational influences can motivate individuals to act in their short term interest without recognizing long term risk. C is your answer. Which of the following statements is most accurate? Investment professionals have a special responsibility to act ethically because industry is heavily regulated. Even if it is not regulated, you should act ethically because they are entrusted to protect clients' assets. Client trusts them to protect their assets, so they should act ethically. B is your answer. Any question? Okay, so although increased regulation and monitoring of behavior will increase trust in financial markets, it is not always the best mechanism to reduce unethical behavior. Why? Because regulators' responses typically take significant time. New law may be vague, maybe it is not, maybe others are not able to understand it. A new law may solve one problem but give rise to another. Laws vary across countries. Laws are subject to interpretation and compliance. So maybe someone interpreted the other way while someone else interpreted some other way. So ethical conduct is not dependent on legal structure, is not dependent on laws. On laws, it goes beyond what is legally required. So ethical conduct goes beyond what is legally required, and it encompasses what different societal groups or communities consider to be ethically correct. So maybe there are many things which are considered to be ethically correct but not a part of law. It does not mean that is not a part of ethical behavior. So ethical behavior goes beyond what is legally required. Ethical decision making framework. So ethical decision making framework is a framework which is provided to you to take ethical decisions or to increase the chances of ethical behavior. What are those? So first, identify relevant facts, stakeholders and duties owed. Then consider situational influences, additional guidance, alternative action. So you should know what are situational influences around you, what is influencing you. You should know what is additional guidance, what are alternative actions, and then decide which one is the best action and then act. And once you have acted upon, then you reflect on it. That was the outcome as anticipated. If not, then why not? If yes, then why? So these are the 4 steps to ethical decision making framework, or which can help you take ethical decision. Any problem? Which of the following statements is most accurate? All legal behavior is ethical behavior. Not necessarily. Some ethical behavior may be illegal. It can happen. Which of the following statements is most accurate? Increased regulations are the most useful means. No, they are not most useful means, because regulation can only promote ethical behavior up to an extent. Regulators quickly design and implement. They do not quickly design and implement regulation. It takes a significant time. New laws designed to reduce or eliminate conduct that adversely affects the markets can create opportunities for different but similar problematics. So coming up with one law, solving one problem with a law can give rise to another problem in the market. So C is correct. Any questions? So this is first reading, which is the ethics and trust in the investment profession. That what are ethics, why are they used, why are they important in an investment profession. Next reading is Code of Ethics and Standards of Professional Conduct, and we will not spend much of time on this reading. Why? Because this only sets the context for reading number 3. It only mentions the Code of Ethics and Standards of Professional Conduct, then all of those are discussed in detail in reading number 3. What is Code of Ethics? Act with integrity, competence, diligence, respect, and in an ethical manner. Place the integrity of investment profession and interest of clients above your personal interest. Use reasonable care and exercise independent professional judgment. Practice and encourage others to practice in a professional and ethical manner. Promote integrity of and uphold the rules governing capital markets. Maintain and improve their professional competence and strive to maintain and improve competence of others. So these are the 6 code of ethics as per CFA Institute, which members and candidates should follow. Now if you look into it, this is a kind of summary. It tells you what is right and wrong, but does not tell you about actual action, that what should you do in what scenario. That is explained by standards. So in support of this code of ethics and in order to clarify these code of ethics, we have standards. But before we go into standards, make sure when you are revising it, you memorize these code of ethics. If you are asked which one of the following is a code or is not a code, you should be able to answer it. In the options, if you have 2 codes and 1 standard of professional conduct, you should be able to identify which one of these is not code of ethics. So remember and memorize these 6 points. These are very important. Then it comes professional standards of professional conduct. So there are 7 standards, and those 7 standards have multiple sub-standards. So for example, professionalism have these 4 sub-standards. Integrity of capital markets, 2 sub-standards. Duties to clients, 5 sub-standards. Duties to employers, 3 sub-standards. Investment analysis, recommendations and actions, conflicts of interest, responsibilities as a CFA Institute member or CFA candidate. So these are 7 standards, and for each of these 7 there are multiple sub standards. What you need to know is you need to know all the names of standards and substandard, and you need to know what each of these means. So if you are asked that which standard is being violated in this scenario, you should be able to answer it. If you are asked which standard is not being violated, you should be able to answer that. So key point to notice, you should know when there is a violation of ethical standard, when there is not a violation of ethical standard, and if there is a violation, which standard is being violated. If there is a violation, which standard is being violated and which is not being violated. And for that you need to understand all of these or their definitions or their meanings. Yes, names and their meanings and definition. You should know what loyalty means or what loyalty says. You should know what knowledge of the law means. You should know what market manipulation means. If you do not know what is 2B, what is 2A, that is fine. But you should know the names and their meaning. You should know what is integrity of capital market. You should know what is professionalism. You should know what is misrepresentation. And all these details are discussed in reading number 3. So next whole reading is about these 7 standards, and that is a very big or large reading. Another key point to note is that inquiry of violation of standards, that if there is a CFA Institute member or candidate who has violated a standard, then how can an inquiry start? An inquiry can start from self-disclosure. That is, you disclose that you have violated a standard. Annually you file a statement, and in that you can disclose that if you have violated any standard, and then there can be inquiries on that for you, on you. Written complaint, maybe someone else complains for you that you are violating a standard, or maybe some evidence has been found for misconduct, that you are being involved in unethical behavior. So this is how inquiry can start. Once inquiry starts, Then a disciplinary review committee is formed. This disciplinary review committee assigns a designated officer and identifies if there was really a violation. So they will find out if there was really a violation. Maybe complaint is not true. Maybe there was no violation. And if violation is found, then they would decide what are the sanctions to be imposed. If there are any sanctions to be imposed, what are those? And they will impose any sanctions if needed. This is how it works. So you should know what is the job of disciplinary review committee as well. Any problem so far? So this is code of ethics.